Mansfield University hosted an evening with Dr. Randall Pinkett on October 7th. Dr. Pinkett stressed many important tips for students, including those who weren't planning on going into entrepreneurship or starting their own business.
How to make $1 out of 15 cents, stay legit, and still pay your rent. It's knowing that the early bird catches the worm, yeah, but the earliest bird can catch all the worms and sell them to the other birds at a profit. Are you with me? Are you with me?
I heard him speak about 6 months ago, and I said then, we have to find a way. I know he's expensive, I know we can't afford him, but we have to find a way to get him to Mansfield, because he really speaks to our leadership, our entrepreneurship, our creed, and everything else we're doing here. And I just felt it was so important for our students to be exposed to him. So we said we probably can't afford you, and he said we can make that happen. So I'm just thrilled to pieces he was willing to come.
You know, it's a fine line between faith and foolishness. Like, you're either a genius because you had such a crazy idea that you made it work, or you're a fool because you had such a crazy idea and it didn't work. And it's a really, really fine line. My best advice to you is to trust your gut. Despite the naysayers, despite the detractors, despite the hateration. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Despite all of that, trust your gut. Because if you trust your gut, one of two things will happen. Either you'll be right, and that will reinforce your intuition, or you will be wrong, but you will have learned and have better intuition the next time. When you go against your gut, I believe you do yourself a disservice. And so, if there's people who are questioning whether what you're doing is the right thing to do, I would say just do some soul searching and look within, and then ask yourself a very tough question, whether that's valid advice, whether there's legitimate concerns, or whether you really want to stick to your guns and say, I'm going to give it a go.
We're looking to bring compelling speakers on campus that motivate students, that get students to think outside the box, get students to think about their futures here and their futures after Mansfield University. And we feel he did an excellent job in terms of weaving all those messages together and in a very compelling way.
Well, I've been speaking for quite a long time. Started back when I was actually in college, that I was doing a lot of speaking. In fact, my first business was doing education and training. But in terms of entrepreneurship, I would say probably within the last 5 or 6 years, because my first book was Campus CEO, the Student Entrepreneur's Guide to Launching a Multi-million-dollar Business. And the introduction of the book kind of opened the door for me to talk to college students and be on campuses talking about kind of entrepreneurship for students.
Entrepreneurs, that's what's up. Entrepreneurs.
If somebody's looking to go from being an employee to an entrepreneur, I would tell them to get a copy of Campus CEO by Dr. Randall Pinkett. That's what I would tell them to do, because the book is really geared toward not just what it means to be an entrepreneur, but how to think like an entrepreneur, which I talked about this evening. And I believe once you have an appreciation for that way of thinking, the entrepreneurial spirit really begins to kind of embody or to manifest itself in anything that you do, be it employee, be it entrepreneur, or be it new entrant.
Pinkett also stressed that 5 characteristics entrepreneurs should have were creativity, courage, resourcefulness, passion, and resilience.
You know, I believe that at the end of the day, the most valuable thing that you can bring to your profession, to your career, are all the things that make you, you. Meaning that your ethnicity, your culture, your gender, your nationality, your religion, your perspective, all the things that make you, you are your greatest contribution to your profession. They are your unique competitive advantage.
I would hope that people just walked away from it with an appreciation that you don't have to be an entrepreneur to think like one. That if you think about creativity and resourcefulness and courage and resilience and passion and all the things I talked about, the characteristics of an entrepreneur, that you can do that running a nonprofit, you could do that being in a church, you could do that being a business owner. It's independent of what you do. It's the way that you think.
Stephen Lewis, Mountaineer News.